Good morning, everyone, and happy Easter to you. Yeah, it's Easter, so I'm going to keep this short. We're going to do everything by what I call short form here. Kind of like during the regular season, the games that I don't watch, although I did watch all these games. Yeah, we don't want to take long with this. So, all right, the big surprise of the night: Columbus River Dragons. They're down 2-0 and they storm back and they win 4-2 in Athens. They move on as they win the series 2-1. And I guess it wasn't a surprise to everyone, but it was kind of a surprise. So Trevor Babin, what a series. I know he gave up 5 goals in game 2, but he played phenomenally, even in that game. Had a great series. And I would say if you have a series MVP, he's the guy. Stops 30 of 32 on the night. William Lavaliere, I always messed up his name for some strange reason, 28 of 31 and 59-22 played. There was an empty net goal at the very end. But yeah, Cody Wickline has a couple of goals. Alex Storjahan, he gets the game-winning goal, the key moment of this game. 15-12 of the third period. Troy Murray gets a hooking minor, sits in the box, and Storjahan scores on the ensuing power play. And that was the difference. Shots on goal in this game, 32 aside. A smaller crowd. Again, it's Easter weekend, so a lot of people traveling. But that penalty really kind of hurt. No, I'm not blaming Troy Murray for Athens losing. It's just that was the pivotal moment of the game. Carter Shinkarik, despite a deep laceration, ends up playing. It didn't factor in the scoring, but he didn't look bad out there. He was still heavily involved. So that is the big story for the day is Columbus moving on, and they will host Game 1 of the semifinals against Carolina on Wednesday. All right, in the Empire Division, we switch there. The Watertown Wolves, third straight year. They lose to the Binghamton Black Bears. This time 4-0. No scoring in the first period. Both teams were playing pretty tight. The Wolves were still playing that great man D in the defensive zone, but then it just kind of faded away, and more room developed for the Black Bears to score as the game went on. For this game, the key moment was the second period. After the first, it was all Binghamton. Now, it was only 2-0 at the end of 2 on the scoreboard, but shots 20-1 in that second period. That is not a typo. 20-1. The Wolves just could not sustain any offensive presence in the offensive zone, and Binghamton just took over the game. That was really the pivotal moment. So Connor McAnanama, not busy at all, faces 15 shots. He stops every one of them. Brendan Colgan, he played well. Unfortunately, he needed some help that wasn't there. 40 saves, excuse me, and he did get he was on the bench for an empty net goal at the end. But anyway, final shots 44-15 in favor of the Binghamton Black Bears. They move on 2-0. They win this series, and they are awaiting the winner of tonight's game. This afternoon's tonight's. All right, so second straight year. Second straight game, that CJ Stubbs has a game-winning goal. He scored at 2:20 of the second period on the power play. That was the first goal. It was the only goal needed. So there we go. Tyson Kirkby, Blake Tosto, and CJ Stubbs all a goal and an assist for this game. All right, so this game was over a lot earlier than it seemed. Yeah, just didn't see a whole lot from the Bobcats last night. Carolina just totally in control from the get go. Carolina, one of the strengths that they have in this playoffs is the fact that they have two excellent goaltenders in Boris Babic and Mario Cavallari. Best tandem in the league, bar none. So anyway, in this game, it's Carolina again scoring 4 times in the first period. They chase starter Greg Hussey after just 15 minutes and 32 seconds in net. Hussey, 4 saves on 8 shots. Connor Green came in and kept the Bobcats in it, but realistically, the game was pretty much over at the end of the first period. Babic saves 43 of 44. He was on. And so, 43 shots for the Bobcats, but, 44. Forgot to change that. And then 30 shots for the Carolina Thunderbirds. The Bobcats doubled shots in the third period. It didn't matter. Babic was kicking everything aside. So we had a goal by Klinecki, power play goal in the second that made a 4-1. But that was as close as the Bobcats would make it. Now Connor Green saves 22, all 22 shots that he faces in 44-28 on ice. He made himself a little statement about his future. Hey, I'm still here. Unfortunately, he kind of got pushed in the background this year with the great play of Hunter Verostic, and then Hussey coming in and having a very hot few games before coming into the playoffs. For Carolina, Peter Panicek, Jacob Gagnon, and Nate Keeley all a goal and assist. Of course, Batita had the game-winning goal just 10 minutes in, and there we go. So Carolina moves on in a 2-0 sweep, and they will be the higher seed in a matchup with the Columbus River Dragons. They will host games on Friday and, if necessary, Saturday. So it's going to be a Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday series. That's already up on the Fed website. The game times are up there. I'm not sure if Columbus is still going to have access to the Civic Center ice or not, but anyway, we'll find that out in the next couple of days. All right, so we go to the final game, and here we go. This is the only series we have left. Port Huron and Danbury. Very tight game, very physical game, a very feisty game at periods, even though we didn't have any kind of like bench clearing brawls or anything like that, and until after the final horn sounded, that is. We had ourselves quite the matchup, and this series, as advertised, is tight, is close, and is going to 3 games. So, yes, it is Valtteri Nusiainen. He got the start, first time he started in a little over a month. He was out injured, came back, played well, but Danbury, they kind of picked their spots as far as, putting on the pressure, and it worked. So, that's right, I forgot to write that down. 1897. I wrote the attendance numbers. I haven't mentioned them. Attendance numbers were extremely liberal, with the exception of Athens. I think Athens' number was pretty accurate, but the other games, the numbers were quite liberal. So, again, it's Easter weekend. Everyone's traveling, visiting family, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, attendance is going to be down this weekend. It just is what it is. All right, so for this game, it is Connor McCollum in goal, for the hat-tricks. Much better performance than he had in Port Huron. Nucianen in goal for the Prowlers. Nucianen, he stops 29 of 32 in 59-25 on ice. There was an empty net goal right at the end. Connor McCollum, he saves 26 of 28. The game-winning goal is scored by Alexander Vasiliev, 5:27 of the third period, 2 seconds after a power play had expired for the hat-tricks. Prowlers got themselves in the penalty trouble in this game. That's a risk that they take with the style of game that they play. They play a very physical game, and sometimes it bites them in the butt. Yeah, more times than not, it serves them well. So shots are 33 for Danbury, 28 for Port Huron. The key part of this goal, I wouldn't say this is a key moment, but it was a key aspect of this game, is Port Huron with the man advantage. That's where they took took control of things. They scored 2 power play goals, and then the goal by Vasiliev, again, just 2 seconds after a penalty had just expired. So at this point, the player's still skating in from the penalty box. He's not able to get into the play yet. So it kind of is a power play goal, even though it isn't. So there we go. So Danbury ties things up. We got ourselves a game this afternoon, 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock is the puck drop. I know it's kind of an unusual time. Well, for the Fed, Sunday games, it's pretty normal. But that is the lone game today. And then depending on how things go, we will know our schedule for the upcoming weekend. Now, Binghamton will be hosting games on Saturday and, if necessary, Sunday. The details are not set yet. As far as when game 1 will be, because we don't know where, we don't know that yet. That will be decided depending on the outcome of this game. So there we go. Not even 13 minutes and we're done. I hope you all have a wonderful Easter. I'll be doing stuff all week. Next time you'll see me here on YouTube, we will be doing the Fed League Flash Awards. So please join me for that. We're going to celebrate awards for different players this year. And we're also going to be kind of honoring great Fed players and personnel from the past. So please join me for that. All right. Thank you so much once again. We're going to sign off. Have yourselves a wonderful Easter, wonderful holiday, a wonderful time with family and friends. And we will catch you again soon here on the Fed League Flash.